Each day, the courtroom is filled with spectators drawn by a fascination with Theodore Bundy himself or by the gruesome details of the crimes. Blood-stained pillows, pictures of the murdered co-eds, evidence that the women were sexually abused. What is unusual to see is that many of the onlookers are women, young women, contemporaries of the 5 Florida State sorority sisters who were assaulted in their beds a year and a half ago.
Every time he turns around, I kind of get that feeling, oh no, he's gonna get me next.
But yet you're fascinated by him.
Very, very. Every night when I go to bed, I just, I get very scared. I shut my door and lock him,
I'm not afraid of him. He just doesn't look like the type to kill somebody. You try to imagine yourself in his place and to see how he's feeling, looking at the pillows with blood stains and everything.
Reporters described Bundy's cold-blooded crimes in graphic detail, yet bags of fan mail arrived at his Florida jail during his trial.
Ted's mail was as strange as anybody's mail could be. He got marriage proposals, lots and lots of women sent him pictures, some sent them nude pictures to him.
And I went back and I told my partner, I said, hey, I want to get arrested. Is this what goes along with the territory? I mean, there were all kinds of women that would go in there to look at him, and some very ugly, some very attractive. But these were, you'd think they were smart, business attorneys. And maybe she was just joking with them. I don't know.
Hello, my friends. I deleted the first version of this video because it was too chaotic and I focused on the wrong aspects of the topic. So it won't be a psychological analysis now. I won't give you possible reasons of hybristophilia. Or even if I do it, it's gonna be a short summary at the end, because it was done a million times. Google hybristophilia and you will get many articles where specialists blame it on daddy issues, chasing fame, attraction to bad guys taken too far, fear of responsibility or abandonment, childhood trauma, etc., etc., etc. Or you will just find people explaining that we are monsters and we probably want to murder your cat. Yeah, you already can find enough of this on internet. What you can't find, what you can get is a normal conversation with a hybristophiliac without hate or prejudice. Hell, even we can find it, because all groups for hybristophiliacs get quickly deleted or banned and doxed, often by people who are in the true crime community, but they draw the line at being horny. But we killed many innocent people. Yeah, Brenda, I know it. It doesn't make my pussy stop throbbing. Anyway, we can't choose who we are attracted to, and wanting to fuck a serial killer doesn't mean I wanna kill someone. But let's go back to my story, since as I suspect you came here to hear my dirty confessions. When it comes to real life serial killers, because I was attracted to fictional violence and science childhood, it started when I was like 15. It was a weird time. I just got out of my religious phase. I mentioned in my other video, but I grew up in religious family, and for some time I was a religious fanatic. I wanted to become a nun. I read Bible every day for good night. Long story. Anyway, I can't tell you how it happened, but at some point I get out of hagiography and fell into the serial killer's rabbit hole. Embarrassed to admit, but I started pretty basic with Columbine shooters and Ted Bundy. I even made a book with facts about him on Wattpad. It got pretty popular. And that's the point where a lot of people say, Hybristophilia doesn't exist, you just like them because they're hot, but we will still hate you for it. And the thing is, it's not like that. For many years I had a crush on Andrei Chikatilo. He was an older man, not strikingly handsome, and also he was impotent, so it isn't like I counted on the sex of the century. I just felt bad for him and wanted to support him emotionally. He had a tough childhood, tough upbringing. Times weren't really good. Also, many Hybristophiliacs have crushes on men that aren't conventionally attractive. They aren't attractive to me. And by the way, fun fact: in the first class of high school, they told us to make a collage about our passions, and that's my little art. Also, and I'll tell you just about my experience. It may be somehow comforting, like when you can relate to people ostracized from society. A lot of criminals had mental issues and trauma. I have depression, borderline, and suspected antisocial personality disorder. I may not kill people, but their conditions for a long time made me feel unfitting, rejected, and it's not just my imagination. There's still a lot of stigma around mental issues. Like, okay, we work on normalizing mental issues, but for now it's mostly normalizing depression, anxiety, autism, and AD had, I don't know how you spell it in English, ADHD, and personality disorders are like the dark place where most people think, oh, no, we won't go there. These people are still dangerous to the society. I won't talk to them. And there's still lots of stigma and a lot of problems with getting mental help professional. Just for example, my disorders mean extreme mood swings, self-destructive behavior, impulsiveness, hypersexuality, and low empathy, which for my peers made me a weirdo, and for my family it made me a problematic kid that needs to be controlled until I can learn to make better decisions in my life. Of course, none of this worked, and it didn't solve my issues. In practice, I never talked with a killer. Well, I once sent a letter to Kajetan Poznański, who murdered a woman and then ran away abroad, but they caught him on Malta. I don't know. It was a few. It was a few years ago, and he's in prison since. I sent him a letter last year, but he didn't reply. And except for that, I didn't found anyone to write to. Also, Poland isn't that full of serial killers, at least the caught ones. And I mean, constant writing to United States would cost much money for stamps, so this is that one problem. There's also my collection from high school with articles that were interesting to me. Like here are Rosenberg's case, like communists who were spies in last century, how to live and delayed completely leave so no one can find you, and how to leave no tracks. You also can be a murderer. Women killed differently. Yeah, just Ted Bundy. What beasts say how does the brain of serial killer works, and Bundy again, and story of Richard Speck, this guy who killed a few nurses, like 8 nurses.